So a lot of people have been asking for this video. Okay, literally no one has asked, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Hi guys, welcome back to Basics with B, where we learn anything and everything together, you know? So in today's video, I'm gonna be giving tips on buying a car, whether you're buying a new car or a used car, secondhand car, whatever. So first of all, affordability. I know this might seem obvious, but you'd be surprised just how many South Africans are in debt because of a car or house or furniture or whatever, and literally people are always getting into debt because of cars. And one thing you can do is decide on a price before you even start like looking at the model and the types and whatever. Look at what price you can afford depending on your lifestyle. So if you decide that you can afford a car that's worth 150 or 200 or 300,000 or 400 and higher because you're rich, please make use of the banking apps. I think most banks have a functionality where you can kind of calculate what your installments would be, or even online platforms. I know there are some online platforms that you can calculate how much, like an estimate of how much you'd be paying per month. It'll show you how much you'll be paying considering the number of years that you'll be, paying back, whether it's 3 years, 4 years, and I think the average is 5 years. It'll consider the interest and any deposit. So if you want to throw in a deposit, then you can also, calculate that amount, and it will tell you how much you'll pay per month. And also, once you do get to that installment amount, don't look at the 2,000 or 3,000 and think, oh, okay, I can afford this in my current lifestyle. Also consider the fact that you have to pay for petrol, insurance, and that something will come up. And I'm saying will, not can. Will. Something will come up. Guys, cars will suck you dry. Please ask how much a full tank is on average, and also how long it lasts, or research it. Mine is about 600 Rand and it lasts me 3 weeks. 4 weeks is pushing it, but 3 weeks, going to work, coming back, and also going to other places in Joburg. And after that, I think I usually, like in a month, I can put full tank and another 200 or 300 Rand, and that will last me for the month. Okay, so guys, now I don't like talking about insurance. I don't like talking about insurance because I don't think I've mastered it, and I just feel like they're scamming me. That's my personal opinion. I mean, insurance is very important though, guys. Insurance is very important. It's something you do need to get, especially if you're not like bowling out of control. You do need to get insurance. In terms of which insurance exactly, I can't recommend a specific insurance for you to get. You would need to either get a broker. There are a couple of brokers, and I will put one or two in the description box if you need any. But if you don't want to get a broker, then you need to call up all of those different insurance companies. I think it's important for you to look into the different options that you have. Don't just speak to 1 or 2 insurance companies, get quotes, and then call it a day. You need to look at least 4. I would say at least 4, and compare the different packages. Listen, I don't think there's one really amazing insurance company. People have different experiences with all these different companies. So speak to friends, speak to families who have experienced the different insurance companies. Look at reviews on Hello Peter. But at the end of the day, you don't stress too much about the insurance companies. Just choose one that seems like affordable, and you can always switch after that. Also, once you choose your insurance company, you can also renegotiate later on. Like, I know someone who had a policy with a specific insurance company, and afterwards got a better offer from them because they told them what their competitors are offering. Keep these insurance companies on their toes, because I'm telling you guys, these people are scamming us. So the other thing is excess, right? In your insurance policy. So let's just say you are paying 1,000 rand per month and your excess is about 4,000 rand. This means that if anything happens to your car, the insurance company will pay for anything above 4,000 rand, which means that, for example, if you get into an accident or your car, there's something wrong with your car or whatever it is, you need to pay up the 4,000 rand and the insurance company will pay the rest. Even if the total cost is 2,000 rand, you will need to pay that 2,000 rand because it falls under your excess fee. So the other thing is that when you are considering insurance companies, please ask about additional excess. I didn't know it was a thing until I actually bought my car. So for example, with my insurance, my excess fee is about 5,000. I know, it's a lot. Because I haven't had my license for more than 2 years, it's an extra 2,000 something, and I think there was something else. Like, if an accident occurs between midnight and 5 a.m., I would need to pay, I think an extra 2,000 or 3,000. I don't know. There's just a lot of all these additional costs. So what happened is, in August, I got into an accident. So this taxi driver hit me at the back, and I think he assumed that I was gonna skip the red robots. That's why he kept going. But anyway, so the total cost for that ended up being around 60,000 rand, and what I had to pay was the initial 5,000 and all those extra things, and it ended up being 10,250, guys. It hurt me, Shem. I don't wanna lie to you. It hurt me so much, and I haven't even had my car for a year, and I'm paying 10,000 rand. And what's even worse is that 2 weeks before that, I had to pay for new brakes. So everything was truly the ghetto in my life. So since then, they have reviewed my policy and they've waived all those additional costs after I got into an accident and paid 10,250. They decide, you know what, bless, maybe you shouldn't pay the additional excess. There are a lot of people that complain about French cars. These are your Renaults, your Citroën, your Peugeots. Is that a Peugeot? Okay, Peugeot. These are your Peugeots. So a lot of people complain that the car just stops working out of nowhere. It causes a lot of issues, a lot of repairs and things like that. But there is the other side, is that other people haven't had any bad experiences with their cars, with their Renaults, with their Citroens. So don't just say, okay, but Mang had a problem with this car, therefore I'm not gonna get it. The only other thing is that getting parts for the car, for French cars, is very difficult, in the sense that it takes really long for them to deliver. You could wait really long. Someone said up to 3 months waiting for parts for the car. And this also means that the parts will probably be really expensive. I've heard good things about German cars though. These are your VWs, your Audis, your BMWs. Even Toyotas apparently, about a dish up. Like, even getting it secondhand, Toyota's apparently really good, really reliable, really well manufactured. So if you're thinking of getting a secondhand car, consider getting Toyota. Dealerships are always trying to get people to use a balloon payment. How balloon payment works is that if you can't afford the installments right now, like let's say they quote you 1,500 per month, you can opt for 1,000 rand per month, for example, because that's what you can afford. But with balloon payment, it means that you'd have to pay a lump sum at the end of that period. So right now, if my installments are 1,000 rand, that means at the end of 5 years, I need to pay, for example, 30,000 rand. Like, I need to have that amount ready for them to take at the end of 5 years. So my sister, when she got her first car, she actually did the balloon payment. She really needed the car for site visits and things like that. So she asked for balloon payment. So she did the balloon payment. But after 2 years, when she was in a better financial position, she asked them to rework that balloon payment amount into her monthly installments. So her monthly installments increased, but at that point she could afford it, right? So again, I don't think the balloon payment is horrible. It's not a terrible decision, but you do need to be aware of all the risks with balloon payments. So one of them is that if you do get into an accident and your car gets written off, the insurance company might not cover the extra 30 or 40,000 rand, which means that even if you don't have your car anymore after the 5 years, you still need to pay that 40,000 rand. So you need to be very clear with your insurance about that amount and ask them if they're going to cover it. Likelihood is that they can offer to cover it, but you'll have to pay more. So the other thing is, if you do want to sell your car, naturally you're going to sell the car at the value of the car at that moment, and that value does not consider the fact that you're owing 30 or 40,000 rand at the end of 5 years, which means that in that sale you will probably be losing a lot more money than you're making, because you still need to pay that amount unless you can somehow rework that 30,000 rand and someone actually buys it. Then great. Okay, so let's say you don't want to get a brand new car and you're considering a second-hand car or a demo car, whichever it is, you are going to need to do a lot more research than if you were getting a brand new car. And I was browsing through YouTube, and people actually give so many tips on getting a second-hand or used car. So if you Google some of those, then you will definitely find a few, and I will link I think 2 or 3 of the videos that I watched that I found very helpful. I got a demo car at a normal dealership, and the advantage of this is that the mileage is low, and I know that it's well maintained, and it pretty much has the same specs as any of the brand new cars. The only thing is that you know that it's been driven by so many other people, but I mean, I didn't care. So a lot of people that I've spoken to and have spoken on YouTube as well have advised that you shouldn't use a used car dealership, simply because they over mark up the cars. So they would probably make the car 2 times or even 4 times the actual value of the car. You can do a personal sale and you'll probably get it much cheaper, because I mean, the person really just wants to get rid of it, you know. But with that does come a lot of risks. There's always a risk with buying a second-hand car or even a demo car, so please try ask as much as possible about that car. Find out about the history of the car. Has it been in any accidents? Ask why they're selling the car, what the car was used for. Ask for service reports. You're allowed to ask these questions because this is your money we're talking about, right? Ask if the car is still on a service plan or a maintenance plan, and if it's not, that will probably be an added expense for you. Lastly, please Google the common problems that specific car has had. So if you are thinking of buying the VW 2017, check what a lot of people have complained about. So for example, if a lot of people have complained about the aircon, then ask the owner or the dealership how the aircon is, or know that that's something that you need to specifically check for when you're testing it out. So yeah, you are going to need to check out your car, and that's actually the next step. Inspect your car. It's a no-brainer, right? If you can afford a professional, a mechanic, whatever, to assess the car, then please do that. Otherwise, please, again, look at different YouTube videos or online papers on what things you need to look out for when you're buying a second-hand car. A lot of people actually on the internet have checklists that you can download so that you know what to tick off when you're inspecting your car. But a few things that I have picked up on is check if the engine light is on, because if the engine light is on, something is probably wrong with the engine. So please check if the brake pads and discs are in good condition. You don't want to buy something that's almost finished. Like, I recently replaced my brake pads and right now my discs are crying. These things are expensive. Like, This is why it's important to save. I ain't gonna tell you about that again. And also check in the boot of the car if there's a spare wheel, a jack, screwdriver, all of those things. Okay, last tip. Yo guys, I've been talking like I'm losing my lighting. Last tip is that please test drive your car, even if it's a new car or second-hand car, demo car. Please do test drive it. Check if the brakes are working. So what you can do is you can accelerate, go really fast, and try do an emergency stop to see how long the car takes to stop and the sound and things like that. And when you are testing for the brakes, the engine, and the car in general, please do so with no music or radio playing in the background and very minimal talking. Guys, now when I tested my car, guys, we played the music like at that point. Like, it was just wow, guys. And my friend and I were chatting. Like, I don't even know what the purpose of that was. Yeah, but at the end of the day, test drive to see if that car is for you. Does it feel good? Does the handbrake feel alright? Does the steering wheel feel alright? Yeah, so yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, those are all the tips that I have for buying a car. Please share your own experiences in the comments. You know, let's talk about it. I just want to give 2-3 tips on buying property. I don't have property yet. But I do know quite a number of people who have bought property and also the space that I work in. So I just want to give 3 tips. I'm not going to give a gang load of tips that I will say for when I do get property, you know? Okay, so first of all, don't get a freestanding house if you can't afford security or insurance. So a freestanding house is a house that is not in a complex or an estate. And the advantages of getting a house or a flat that is in a complex, one, you don't need to think about the security because chances are the complex has their own security company. So if you're going away, you don't have to have an extra thing to worry about, right? And you don't need to consider getting home insurance because that place probably has insurance. All you need to do is contribute towards that insurance, but you don't have to take on the risk and all the access and all of that. The risk pretty much lies with the insurance company and the real estate owners. I would advise getting a house or a flat that's a new development, but those are usually expensive. So the most common thing is getting a pre-owned house or flat, which is perfectly all right. But you do need to consider the fact that you need to pay lawyer fees, transfer costs, and things like that. So I think the average amount that you need to save up is around 40,000 Rand. But the great thing is you can ask the bank to include those transfer costs into your loan amount, and all you need to pay is the lawyer fees, which might be about 15,000-20,000 Rand. I don't know their rates. So for the place you're going to be staying, you need to search for crime stats, and also if you're planning on selling that property later on, please research the development rate, check other developments in the area. Oh, also the other thing is that when you're buying property, please don't buy property in August expecting to move in September. And I'm saying this because that's what I thought. I thought it was a quick thing, but you might need to wait at least 3 months before you actually move in. So don't move out of your place before those 3 months. Okay guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you for the continuous support. It's really affirming and I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment, and all of those things. You know, yeah, let's chat in the comments.